The views expressed on the Making It Matter podcast are that of Gunnar, Esiason, Julia Ray, and guests, and not necessarily those of the Boomer Esiason Foundation. Nothing in the Making It Matter podcast should be considered medical advice. Such advice can only be given by a physician who is experienced with cystic fibrosis. The Boomer Esiason Foundation, Gunnar Esiason, Julia Ray, and guests cannot be held responsible for any damage which may result from using the information on this podcast without the permission of your medical doctor. You're listening to the Making It Matter podcast with Gunnar Esiason and Julia Ray, presented by the Boomer Esiason Foundation and GunnarEsiason.com.
Hey there, it's Gunnar Esiason. Thanks for joining Julia and I for episode 7 of the Making It Matter podcast series, How to Stay Busy When You're Sick.
Hi, everyone. Making It Matter is a bi-monthly podcast with your hosts, Gunnar Esiason and me, Julia Ray, presented by the Boomer Esiason Foundation and GunnarEsiason.com, highlighting the challenges that people with CF face and the people who face them.
Since Julia and I both have cystic fibrosis, we're remaining compliant with the National Cystic Fibrosis Guidelines regarding patient interaction and cross-infection by recording via Skype. This podcast is made possible by an unrestricted educational grant from Novartis to the Boomer Esiason Foundation. All right, Julia, since I've been a little under the weather lately, let's talk about being sick. That's obviously something that we both face quite often, and how we stay busy when we are sick. Why don't you start off and give us a few of your little tips here?
My go-tos. I think everyone probably frequents Netflix just a little bit more when you're sick, and just passing the time with movies and TV shows. But I read a lot too when I'm sick. I just turn the pages.
What kind of books do you read?
I have a little bit of everything. I'm like big historical fiction, nonfiction, kind of everything, and then also like magazines. It's like Shape and Cosmopolitan.
Shape is my favorite magazine too.
Is that your fave? Yeah.
Yes, it is. Now, Netflix is a big thing for me. I actually just got finished watching Peaky Blinders on Netflix. That was an awesome series.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really good.
I have to check it out.
It's definitely a little rough if you're into the... It's kind of gory and...
Oh, yeah, not my
and stuff.
No.
You don't really strike me as
not my
person.
thing.
Yeah, Netflix is definitely a big thing for me when I'm sick, especially because you can just kind of lay on the couch and veg. I feel like my doctor always tells me that rest is something that I don't get enough of, and Netflix definitely allows me to do that. Netflix is definitely one of the best inventions, I think, of the 21st century.
Amen to that.
But I'm also a big reader too. That's definitely something that I think it probably requires a little more effort, I think.
Yeah.
As if like reading actually requires effort. But I think it's on some level it requires some sort of concentration. So there's times that I just feel so awful that reading's not something that I...
Well, the clue in for me is when I have to read the same page over and over again, because it's not...
Yeah, you're like, what did I just read?
Yeah.
I just read 1,000 words. I did not comprehend a single one. I've definitely had that feeling too. That's definitely the indicator that this may not be a good idea as to what I'm doing right now. Yeah, but no, I'm definitely a big reader too. Actually, oddly enough, I studied English in college, but I really didn't become a big reader until I graduated college. Yes, I know.
Interesting.
I'm sure my professors were very happy.
Very proud of you for that.
Yes. I'll tell you one thing though. In college, I definitely played more video games in college when I should have been studying. That's all. I'm a huge video game, I don't want to say nerd, but I probably am a nerd for video games.
Own it.
Yes, exactly. That's like kind of like my happy place when I'm sick. It kind of makes me feel like it feels like I'm being active because you're in someone else's
productive member of society.
Exactly. Yes, me and my Xbox Live friends as we play video games online. That's like a good time killer, I think. It's always been a time killer. Even when I was like a little kid.
And you can do treatments while you play, can't you?
Oh yes, exactly. That's how I multitasked in college. In fact, I'm sure I think we have a podcast of me from college, and I'm like, what did you do during treatments, Gunnar? And me and my roommates play video games. I have a very vivid memory of one of my college roommates. I woke up at like 7:30, to go to class, whatever, and he's out there in the common room, fully dressed, showered and everything, and he's out there playing Rock Band by himself at 7:30 a.m. He's just jamming on the drums. I'm like, what are you doing?
Dedication.
Yes, exactly.
Impressive.
But no, that's definitely a big thing when I'm sick. Back on topic, though. I think an important thing not to overlook, especially if you're in the hospital, something to pass time is to just really do extra treatments. Like, that's something that definitely makes the time go. Like throw the vest on, or doing an extra nebulizer or something like that, because that will pass the time. It's you're actively doing something, but you're also doing something to hopefully shorten the time that you're sick.
Yeah, and you're investing in your health.
Yes, exactly.
In the long run, too.
Investing in your health is a very astute way of putting it. Yes, let me invest in my health by doing the vest for an extra 25 minutes.
See, it's true.
Did you come up with that on your own?
Yeah, just did.
Just now?
Yeah, it's my new tagline actually for the vest.
So
invest in yourself.
So when I text you later tonight, what are you doing right now? I'm investing in my health right now, Gunnar.
Yeah.
I just put the vest on for 25 minutes and I'm investing in my health.
Totally, that's it.
Tell that to your doctor. See what he says.
He's gonna love it. I mean, the vest.
There's your new catchphrase.
Yeah.
Trademark that immediately.
I also think something you can do is like learn something new, pick up a new hobby, like playing guitar, or I used to knit when I was sick.
And what did you knit?
I never really advanced much past scarves and blankets, as long as I was knitting in a square or rectangular pattern, I felt in my comfort zone. So, but that's about as advanced as I got with knitting. So perhaps you out there listening could progress much further than I could. But you can also learn a new language too.
Why? Why would you?
So I think that's cool.
But like, you're supposed to be relaxing when you're sick. You're not supposed to be
using your brain.
You're not supposed to be straining yourself. It's like I wouldn't say it's a vacation. Vacation is the wrong word to use. It's rest is the word that needs to be used here. You're supposed to be resting and not pushing yourself to learn Chinese or something.
Well, I was going to choose something like French or Spanish, but a little easier.
Obviously, the things that we do when we're sick,
are very different.
Very different.
I mean, I still like to use my brain, because otherwise I just sit there and feel like, I don't know, a useless blob.
But I feel like there's already a lot on my brain. Like when I'm sick, I feel like there's like 9 million things I have to worry about. There's the treatments in the morning. And especially if I'm on IVs, you got to keep the IV schedule going. You got to manage not sleeping well. And I also have a feeding tube. Like when I'm sick, it looks like I'm attached to the Matrix. Like I have tubes coming out of every part of my body. Like I have a tube in my stomach. I have tubes in my arms. The whole thing is like, I honestly I feel like Keanu Reeves, like in the Matrix. Like
so learning French is not like the top priority?
No. Honestly, my top priority when I'm sick is trying to sleep 9 hours through the night and not waking up in the middle of the night.
See, that's a good goal.
Like another thing, like when I'm on IVs, like I feel like I have to pee every 45 minutes. Like that's like something that I have to do.
That's me like any day, every day.
I'm happy that I now know that. Yeah, no, there's a lot of strenuous straining things that I feel like I'm doing when I'm sick, and
the last thing I
want to do is learn French.
Stress.
Exactly.
Well, there's like an app on my phone that I turn to, like it's called Duolingo or something like that, and it's like a game. It's like my version of a video game, and it just like reminds me of French words.
It reminds you of French words. See, I took French. So we're off topic here. I took French from kindergarten through my sophomore year. I guess I did sophomore year summer school of college. So I mean, I'm pretty good with French. I feel like I don't need to learn anymore though. I'm like,
you're good.
I've reached my max potential of the foreign language of French. Like when I go to Canada, I can go to Starbucks, order a coffee, and like chat up the barista. You know, like that. Like I can do that. I have that skill. I don't need to brush up on that when I'm sick.
Okay, fine. All right. Well, you can play video games, and I'll play my French game.
Okay. Okay. Well, I hope this has been very helpful for people. I think more back to square one here. I do think that it's important to maintain a grasp of what you're trying to do. Like it's important to focus on getting healthy again.
Yeah.
And a way to do that is definitely by either doing extra treatments, but also coming to terms with managing what you're dealing with. I mean, for the past 10 days I've felt like crap. So I try to do whatever I can to make sure that I don't feel like crap for an extended period of time, so that hopefully by the time next week rolls around, I'm back to normal and I can do things and be a productive member of society in it instead of sitting here on my computer making a podcast.
which makes rest all the more important.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah, I think you're right. Well, I know that we always feature someone on the Making It Matter podcast who's making a difference and using their voice and their story to raise awareness for cystic fibrosis. And Nell Pritchard is featured on Cosmopolitan in their Invisible Illness column. And she has received a double lung transplant and is doing well. And just shout out to Nell for raising awareness for CF and using her story and her voice.
I like to point out that I was the one who found Nell on Cosmo.
Gunnar is a regular reader of Cosmo.
Huge Cosmopolitan fan. No, Nell, awesome job for just getting the awareness out there. I'll put the link in the blog page for people who want to read that and learn more about Nell's story. Awesome job, Nell. Unfortunately, we don't have a big budget here, so we can't give you anything. But we can give you some name recognition. So that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in for the 7th episode of the Making It Matter podcast series. Remember, you can follow along with our bi-monthly podcast. Hopefully, we'll start doing more than bi-monthly podcasts via my YouTube channel, Julia's YouTube channel. Do you put them on your YouTube channel?
You know what? I'm going to start doing that now that you said that.
Okay, we can do it. You can also see it on GunnarEsiason.com, JuliaRay.com. And if you want to see us podcast about something specific, you can always send us an email at gunnersblog@esiason.org, or Julia's email address, which is
JuliaRay@JuliaRay.com.
Or send us a message on Facebook. And that's my little tidbit for the day.
Yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. Why don't you let us know in the comments below what you do to stay busy when you're sick, and we'll get back to you and chat it up, and hopefully we'll learn something new from all of you.
All right, this is Gunnar Esiason and Julia Ray signing off.